Republic, and to invite him to talk to us about the key subject we have decided on. There is Jerusalem, the Palestinian state, and also the question of the security plan. So, Mr. Dr. Mohammed Al-Salaymeh.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, first of all. Allow me in the beginning to outline some of the very important in the history of the development of this issue. First of all, I want to talk about the resolution of division of Palestine, which is this one, from 1947. The resolution in 1947, after a long clash between Palestinians, new Jewish immigrants, and the British colony, the General Assembly decided to divide Palestine into two parts, one for Palestinians, one for Jews. Jewish community at that time, they have 7% of Palestinian territory. The Palestinians have 93%. The resolution gave the Jewish community 52%, the Palestinian 46%, and 2% for Jerusalem. And this map, this is the Palestinian part, the Israeli part. But when the war started in 1948, the Israelis occupied 78% of Palestinian territory. Now, we start negotiation with them, for the Americans, of course, 1988, to establish Palestinian state in the land occupied in 1967. It means 22%. And we organized all resolutions concerning this issue, 242, and I don't want to mention all resolutions, but we start, as the American says, substantial dialogue with George Schultz and the time of Reagan, and the Israelis began to hesitate and postpone and so on. After that, they did the war between the West Bank and the Israeli. The war is in the Palestinian territory. If it was a war for security, it is supposed to be in the borders and not inside the Palestinian territory, because it takes 9.5% of the West Bank from the 22% which we accept to establish Palestinian state. There is an advisory from the International Court of Justice in 2004 that the war is illegal.
Sorry, the mic isn't right.
No. Okay, so the International Court of Justice decided that the wall is illegal and have to be demolished and to compensate the Palestinians who are living there, because it divides families from each other. The school, you are living on one side, the school on the other side. You have to wait for the Israeli soldier to open the door. When the school is finished at 4 o'clock, you have to wait a few hours for the move of the soldiers to order them to come back. The agricultural land, the same, you have on one side, land on the other. And so this makes a big additional complication to Palestinian life. The wall is supposed to be 730 kilometers, between 6 and 9 meters high. And when the Americans told us that this is security wall, we said, okay, let it be in the green line, exactly the border, not in our land. And this is one of the main issues which we are negotiating about. Concerning Jerusalem, because all negotiation is about the land occupied in 1967, which represents 22% of Palestinian territory. And the Israelis last term of negotiation between us and the time of President Obama, they asked the Palestinians to recognize the Jewish state. We asked them, okay, give us the border of Palestinian state. Very cheap. okay, give us the borders of Israel state to recognize. Hillary Clinton said the Palestinians are, the question is very justified, but we just answer it. So we stop negotiation because settlement is going on. The settlement in the Palestinian territory now is about, we have about 450,000 settlers, especially around Jerusalem.
Those are the blue colonies.
Yes. This is the problem. So, if the international law, of course, no country in the world recognizes Israel, Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Many countries promised to move their embassies to Jerusalem, but no one dared to do because it is by international law. There is about 40 resolutions because this is occupied territory. In Jerusalem, every Palestinian who leaves Jerusalem for 6 months, he has no right to go back, to have residence. They take his ID from Jerusalem and he has to go somewhere else. Besides that, with fake documents, they claim that this house belonged to a Jewish family before 1948. Yeah. And, of course, they occupied the house, demolish it. And according to the Israeli law, if somebody occupied your house, you go to the judge in 1 month. You go to settlers, how do you take my house? You are living in a democratic state. Go to the judge, go to the police. So the poor Palestinians settlers go to the police and tell them, few settlers came with the police supported by the army, they kicked me out. What to do? Go to the judge. Of course, you go to the judge and they say, we can't accept your application without mentioning the name of the settlers. We can't make an unknown person. So he looked for an Israeli lawyer and paid him a lot of money. We went to investigate. It takes about between 8 and 9 months. He found the names of the settlers. He got the judge. The executive passed a resolution in his favor. So he is happy to go with the police to his house. When he opened the door, he said, Mr. So-and-so. They said, they are not here. They sent me the house for 2 months. And he started the procedure from the very beginning. See, this is democratic state. You can go to the judge again. And this is how they are dealing with the Palestinians and the occupied territories. Besides that, settlers are, of course, confiscating land because there is a law, the law of the absent people. All of us are absent because they are not living there. So they confiscate the land, build a new settlement, and we told the Americans we can't continue negotiation as they are engulfing the Islamic expertise. There is no one to negotiate about. How the Palestinian state will stand? It is an island between colonies. Colonies, settlers are welcomed, protected by the Israeli army, persecuting Palestinian citizens. If you go from one place to another, you need to pass. We have 605 checkpoints in the land of 5,000 or 6,000 kilometers. For example, to Ramallah, from Amman to Ramallah is 90 kilometers.
You showed us the pointer when you're talking?
Ramallah is
On the second half.
yeah, second one. Yes, between Ramallah and Amman, I mean, in Jordan, it takes 90 kilometers, it takes me 7 hours. I go for some Czech ministers over there, I go to. You go 40 kilometers, then from this 40 kilometers, you have 5 kilometers to go to Jericho, where there is the Israeli. They take your passport, there is black glass, put your passport in the drawer, they push it down, and wait. 3, 4, 5 hours, without any reason. Just to humiliate you that you are Palestinian. To give up, not to come back. This is one of the reasons why negotiation is not going. Settlement, security, we want security. The Israeli wants, the occupying power asks the occupied people for security. We say, okay, security is Israel, they pay for security for Palestinians. You can't ignore security for the other part. It's one of the main reasons. third negotiation, the last round of negotiation, we were focusing on two things: borders and settlement. Of course, with outlet, we achieved something about border 67, including a swap of land between 1.2 to 1.9. This big settlement, Mali, Adomin, Varatio, is called. We accept to stay, but we change the land the same in the north of Palestine. I mean, the land with water. Because the Israelis want to take this piece of land and to give us a piece around Gaza, which is a desert, and there is no water, and it is not suitable for life. So, we say if we agree about the borders, settlement will be solved. Because settlement in Palestinian territory will stay for the Palestinians. Settlement in the Israeli side will stay for the Israelis. But we don't achieve anything with Netanyahu, because Netanyahu is under the pressure of Lebanon and the very right coalition inside the same government. Right? We can't achieve anything with them. And we said before, if they provide the borders, then security will be our responsibility. And for the Israelis. Besides that, we talk to international community, United Nations, and the State Department. We accept international forces between us and Israel. If they are pretending that Palestinians are responsible for their security, we accept international forces from the UN, NATO forces, or even American forces to be between us and Israel. But the Israelis think that we are foreigners in this land. This is the promised land of God. And in the last speech of Netanyahu, he said in the West, in Yehuda and Samara, living some Palestinians. That means the land belongs to them, and we are living them temporarily. They want to confiscate other land. This is not of the nation. But there is a very big Israeli intellectuals who are understanding that the future is for the living coexistence between Palestinians and Israelis. You can choose your friend or your flat, but you can't choose your neighbor. We are in this land, we have to live together. And this is what Hillary Clinton said in the context of the IPAC, the biggest Israeli lobby in the States. Say, so we are ready to protect Israel. We are ready to help Israel in their future. But three things we don't have: ideology, technology, and demography. Technology, I mean, because the superiority of the Air Force of Israel, the most sophisticated American Phantom, the Israeli Phantom 35, which is only the Americans have. But the rockets who are involved in the battle in the future, as it was 2006, for example. Demography, the increasing of the multiplication of the Palestinians concerning the degradation of immigration to Israel, because now after the collapse of the Congress, immigration is reduced. There is some few Ethiopians, Falasha. So the only way is to accept to live together, to recognize the right of the Palestinians for independence and for the Palestinian state, because we give historical compromise. When the United Nations gave us 46% of Palestine, we accept to establish Palestinian state in 42, in 22%. This is the historical compromise. No Palestinian leader can sign peace agreement less than that. Mohammed Abbas was very popular, very moderate. When he insists to the 22, Netanyahu said this is very radical, and the Americans have to get rid of him to find that. So the same history. In the time of Arafat, when he signed Oslo Accord, in Oslo Accord, which was signed 13th of September 1993, it was supposed to withdraw the Israelis from 95% till May 99. In the meantime, 95, Rabin was assassinated. They say that he was assassinated by an angry Jew. If he was Palestinian, he would be a Palestinian terrorist. This, as they say that Martin Luther King was assassinated by American racists, Sadat by Muslim terrorists, and Rabin by angry Jew. That means the media is this title of terrorism. They do it only for a special group of people, either to be Palestinians or Arab or something like that. After the assassination of Rabin, the right wing of Israel came to power. Sharon, of course, now Netanyahu. So, all agreement about Oslo collapsed. The quartet, the international quartet, which represents the United Nations, US, Russian Federation, and the EU, they have the roadmap, which we received from them in the time of Solana. They say this roadmap is not to negotiate, to be implemented. We accept it. The roadmap consists of 3 pages. The reserve of the Israeli government was 12 pages. They accepted. I think 7 of the ministers were reserved, or 7 what were. We implement all what is in our side of the roadmap. Israel did not implement it. Because one of the main things was security and freezing of settlement. Settlement is increasing. Every party who are advocating the continuity of building settlements is getting more votes. And in the Israeli society, the religious party are increasing because they don't go to the army. They got budget from the government. And in every election, the religious group, Shas especially, ask any candidate or prime minister, if you help us, we will vote for you. They give the money, they vote for him, they don't go to the army, they are just for publication, reading the Torah, and giving the new generation very radical and racist ideology. Even they have a special newspaper distributed to the Israeli army that killing kids, women, uprooting trees is justified all today. This is the problem, that the area is, the Israeli society, the right is going on, and the situation is deteriorating.
Before we just take questions, could you please just explain what your Palestinian position is for Jerusalem, like what it is that you want, and then we'll take questions?
Okay, concerning Jerusalem, in Jerusalem there was many restrictions from the Israeli authorities. But till now, we have 270,000 Palestinians. Now, East Jerusalem, the war is about East Jerusalem, the historical part of Jerusalem. In the other side, in new West Jerusalem, is built after the occupation. We have more than 70% of the land of West Jerusalem. You see that the Americans were building embassy in West Jerusalem, they stopped it. Because by accident, 19 families, Palestinians, who are now Americans, they have the land where the embassy have to be built. So they stopped it. We are not negotiating about this. We are negotiating about East Jerusalem. East Jerusalem by international law, by hundreds of resolutions. We have resolution 2423, 338, and I don't want to mention all resolutions. And the United Nations not recognize that any part of East Jerusalem belongs to the Israeli government. It is occupied territory.
East Jerusalem is the white area, correct?
Right. What is it?
The white area, and West Jerusalem is the blue area.
Here, this one? this area, yes.
And in city, and the old city, what should happen to the holy site?
The old city, which is the most, the church, the wall around Jerusalem. Actually, the old Jerusalem is 1 kilometer square. This is the old city, the most historical part, which is very important. Now, it is surrounded by stones from the outside. And Israel is paying hundreds of millions, but nobody is selling his house. Only Sharon bought the house flat in Jerusalem 1968 or 69, but the old city is Palestinian 100%. So they are surrounded by settlement. And maybe you hear about the last Jarrah, when they demolished Jarrah, and they demolished Shepherd Hotel, which is built from 1927. They want to eliminate any Palestinian historical part and to build a new one, which belongs to them. This Jerusalem, there is no Palestinian state without Jerusalem. That means there is no peace without Jerusalem. Palestinian territory without Jerusalem is nothing. This is, we gave up from 78% of Palestinian territory. We are accepting 22 with Jerusalem, all land occupied on the 4th of June 1967.
So right now you have time to ask questions, specifically from the ambassador. So because he's given an overview of all three topics. So our first question, if you can stand up. So hand your computer to somebody else if you're going to stand up. And
hello, my question is, if Palestinians were to get their own state, how would Israel compensate the Palestinians who still have documents for their properties in Israeli land?
what's the specific compensation that's being asked for by Palestinians in terms of what they've lost that's within Israel right now? Palestinians who are the right, the compensation, right, that for land that they lost that's within Israel.
You see, there is an international resolution, which is 194. It was the most popular resolution to the American administration at that time, from 1949, which said that the Palestinians have the right to go back to their homes and to be compensated for their humiliation and for the problems they have. Of course, no Palestinians were allowed to go back. If I want to say my personal life, I was born in Palestine. I left, I was less than 2 years from my family. My father was arrested with his friends for 2 years. My eldest brother was born with 38 to take us all to escape to the Palestine. I was allowed to go back to Palestine after 49 years, after Oslo Accords. I became Palestinian citizen. I am Palestinian citizen in Ramallah, where I don't know anybody, because I am from the Tiberias, from Galilee, which I am not allowed. So I was allowed to be citizen in Ramallah, and I go to Ramallah to visit my friends. I stay at the hotel and go back. So this is one of the most difficult issues: is the right of return.
You're not allowed to go to Tiberias where you're from. When you go back from the Czech Republic, you can only go to Ramallah only.
That's wrong. I need admission from the military, Israeli military rules or the West Bank to allow me to go, but not to sleep. This was before. Now it's not allowed at all.
I think the question was also about compensation, actual, is there a dollar or a euro amount, pound amount that's being asked?
First of all, we have to accept the legal and moral responsibility, and not the amount of money. This is what we are talking about. The right of return. This is the most crucial thing in the negotiation. It means the Israelis who are, I mean, Jews who are living in Europe or the States, and they have the right to come to Palestine, to be citizens the next day, and we are born there, we don't have the right to go back.
This is a key point, obviously, like about should U.S. slaves, descendants be compensated, or Native Americans, or whatever. Many countries never agree to those things because that's the first step into the agreement, and Israel hasn't done that agreement yet. That's actually a good point. Other questions?
If Palestine ever had an independent state for itself, West Bank for itself, would there be a possibility that they would connect and unite with Gaza Strip, or would you ever want to unite with Gaza?
No, you see, in the context of swap of land between us and the Israeli government, there was an agreement and the beginning of the negotiation to have what's so-called safe passage. You see, the safe passage was functioning in 1999, but because of the difficult economic situation in Gaza, this safe passage was working in one-side way. So people began to migrate from Gaza to the West Bank, and after that it was stopped by the time of Sharon. But
That's the safe passage that they just could go on the road from Gaza City to the West Bank.
Connect Gaza with the
There's a
West
road,
Bank.
and they could just go on that road.
Connect from Gaza to Hebron, which is the closest part of the south of Palestine. And there was buses going, shuttling up and down, but after that it was stopped. It is under negotiation because the Palestinian state have to be connected together, you see, on one piece of land, and it's coming in the exchange of piece of land for the settlement around Jerusalem, especially this biggest settlement, Mali Adumim, with 36,000 settlers, or Kfar Asur with 25,000 settlers. It can't be removed, and we accept this reality, and we ask to change it, swap of land to the same territory, which is less than 2%. Of course, Netanyahu asked for 9.6%, but it is not for negotiation.
You're talking about a couple of years that place was settlement.
Yeah.
You said the road was connected at Hebron, and they can't move that.
Yes. Gaza and Hebron, yes, from the south, yes. Yeah. No.
Other questions?
How could you guarantee that the new government in Palestine will be a government that recognizes Israel's existence, unlike the Hamas, which is the biggest problem in the Gaza Strip, because they do not recognize Israel's existence?
Yes. You see, Hamas came to election January 2006. It means after our negotiation with the Israelis for 13 years, we start substantial negotiations September 93. So there is two fractions in the Palestinian society. One is for negotiation, one is for resistance. When the negotiation collapsed to achieve anything, the people who elect Hamas, they don't read the literature of Hamas or the ideology of Hamas. They were fed on negotiation and some kind of mistakes in the Palestinian Authority. They elect Hamas. Today we are asking Hamas for election. The rating of Hamas in Gaza now is 17%. In the West Bank is 26%. Because you see now there is two tendencies in the Palestinian society. One is for negotiation, the other for resistance. Those who are for resistance do not resist. We are in negotiation, we don't negotiate. So the people are stuck. See, we are in a very closed way. Yeah. But people in the West Bank who are for negotiation, they are disappointed. For them, the rating of Hamas is 26. Those who are in Gaza supporting Hamas, they are 17%, you see. So we ask for a new election to decide who will be in power. This, what Israel said that Hamas is a pretext for aggression against Hamas, it is not true. Because Hamas is newly established. This is the last organization in the Palestinian community. And she can, people elect Hamas as disappointed from the long or talking negotiation for peace. We want peace-making negotiation, not peace-talking negotiation. You see? Why Israel is insisting for negotiation? To show the world that peace process is going on, but actually not. In the negotiation, the Palestinians say what they want, and the Israelis do what they want, because they have 43 veto Americans in favor of Israel. The last one was 10 days ago, concerning settlement. Obama said settlement are illegal. Hillary Clinton said settlement are illegal. Okay, we have a draft resolution to Security Council. President Obama talked with Abbas 55 minutes to withdraw our project resolution. Not accepted. 14 countries in favor, American veto. Why? If you say every day that settlements are illegal, Obama himself, Hillary Clinton, even Ambassador Rice, when she fought against, she said, if we use the veto, it does not mean that we justify settlement. Settlements are illegal. Okay, why you vote against? This is the issue. You see, the credibility of the honest broker in the Middle East changed. I want to tell you something. All these uprisings in the Arab countries which is going on, it is because of feeling humiliated for decades. Pressure from the West, contradiction policy, contradiction between what? Spreading democracy and fighting against terrorism. So every president who has some opposition, those are terrorists. Those are Al-Qaeda. So people think of that. For that, what happened? Tunisia, Egypt, and the chain is going to other countries. Yemen, Oman, every country. This is confirmation. People feel humiliated. Countries are occupied, people are killed, dictators are for decades on power, corruption everywhere, and everything is going on. You know, many countries in the West ignored what happened in Tunisia. 14 days. People were killing in the street. Nobody mentioned anything. No human rights, no democracy. Important to have our loyal president in the area, and we are covering them. This was going on. This reflects 1948 changed the face of history in the Middle East. You know, after 48, what happened? Jordanian crime was killed. Prime Minister was killed. Coptic in Syria. King of Egypt. No, Nasser. They changed. This reaction about what happened in the Middle East and the Palestine is still going on. And it will continue till there is a settlement, because those who have uprising in Egypt, they are the higher middle class. They say we are fighting for our dignity. Listen.
Do you think that leaving Gaza out of the agreement would help implementing the Oslo Accords? Because the Hamas doesn't recognize the right to exist in Israel.
Three-state solution, just saying, like, if the government, if with new elections, Hamas is once again re-elected in the Gaza Strip, is there a consideration of a three-state solution where negotiations would start with the West Bank to implement Oslo and then?
Of course. Because, you know, after 48, after Gaza was controlled by the Egyptian authority, and the West Bank was under Jordan. Till Gaza was occupied 67 by the Israelis. And in 1987, the Jordanian king Hussein, he finished the administrative connection with the West Bank, so it became no man's land. It means it belonged to us again, and we began to manage the situation. But I don't think Hamas have such popular support or popularity, because we are calling for election. We have the last proposal: keep security in your hands in Gaza. We will have now a new government. We will have some ministers from Gaza, and come to the election. Of course, they don't answer it, but this is our last proposal. We want this national unity and reconciliation, but they don't accept, because it is a kind of immigrants. They are doing very good. They got support from outside, either from some rich Arab people or from Iran, the money. And everybody the Palestinian question is a very profitable card in the bucket of any regime. So I support the Palestinians, they get more popularity. And this is what happened with Hamas. Hamas is playing a more regional negative role than Palestinian role, unfortunately. That's what I think.
But you're just hopeful that you'll wait it out until hopefully Hamas will change its policy.
Of course, if there is an election, I think the Palestinian people will say their words, but when the Hamas have to know that the election is not the one-sided elections as in the communist time. You have to have election once in life. Election is a democratic process. The time of the election expired and it's supposed to have election till September. We are trying our best and pressing them to come to the election, because this is the only way to have a new election, new government. And I think the Israeli community is the same. They know what to do. They can't be in hostility with neighboring countries for life. That is in our favor and in the favor of Israel. The future, the kids of Israel in the future, and the Palestinians to live together in coexistence and peace. Weapons will never have security. The Soviet Union have hundreds or thousands of atomic bombs, they collapse. Only understanding, respecting the right of each other to live in peace, this will have the best for the future of the region and the future of the region.
Are there any Jerusalem questions? Because we haven't had a chance to really talk about it. I don't want to be the one to ask the Jerusalem question.
Where do the Palestinians in the refugee camps get their food and water from?
The Palestinian refugees camp?
It was refugee camps. They are where they get their supplies.
And where are the main refugee
You see,
camps? Lebanon?
You can say Palestinian camps because Palestinians are scattered in other countries. In every country they have a special status, you see. Of course, the majority of Palestinians are in Jordan, 2 million. They are Jordanian citizens. About 2 million, 2.5 million, they are living as Jordanian citizens. They are not discriminated. They live as other Jordanians. And of course, this is the fifth or fourth generation from the refugees. They have no problem. The Palestinians who are living in the Gulf countries, they are workers or expats, or of course 150,000 in Saudi Arabia. We have about more than 120,000 in the Emirates. We have about 400,000 in Syria. Of course, they have very good treatment. They have all the rights as the Syrians, except for the election. The worst situation of Palestinians are in Lebanon, because in Lebanon there is manufacturing that, there is this problem of minorities, and that the Palestinians will change the balance of the Lebanese structure, they will vote for this side or for the other side. And they don't have any right because the Maronite who are controlling the situation in Lebanon at that time, they passed a law that the Palestinians are not allowed to work 77 professions in Lebanon. Yeah. This is the worst situation, Palestinians in Lebanon. Of course, other Palestinians are living in a very difficult situation. But the worst are in Lebanon, around 400,000 Palestinians. The new minister of labor minister, they say they will allow them to do some professions, but till now nothing is implemented. We say that Palestinians will not interfere in the very delicate Lebanese interior situation, but they promise to release some kinds of professions to do. Because some of them say that the Palestinians will be a concurrent for the Lebanese doctors or engineers or lawyers or something like that. But till now we are negotiating with the Lebanese government to how to improve their lives.
Ambassador, we just have one last question, sir.
How will the Palestinians pay for the security of East Jerusalem?
Security? And in Jordan?
How could they afford the security, like of the holy sites and the areas that they would be having control of?
Jerusalem is an occupied territory, and it's under the Israeli control. Palestinians are living there, are occupied under the Israeli security, our security.
But you were saying that you would want to have the areas that you had mentioned before. So if you did get that as a part of your negotiation, how would the Palestinians be able to afford the security, especially in the holy sites?
You know, Oslo, of course, is divided in three parts, A, B, C. A is administrative and security is under the Palestinians. B is we have the administration, Israel have security. C, the Israeli have security and administration. This part, which is under our control, all international factors recognize that the top security is under our control. Even the Israelis themselves recognize that they never lived in peace and security as the last 3 years. So it is not a problem for us. The problem is to have the borders, to know where we have the right, where the Israel have the right. This is the issue. But inside the sites, there is no Israeli army, but they are in the entrance. And in the streets of Jerusalem, you feel occupation only in Jerusalem. 100 soldiers going for them. So it is under occupation, not our security.
If it would take away the security fence, how can you guarantee the safety of Israel so that there won't be any uprising if the security fence was to go down?
I don't think the war will assure security for Israel. I don't think. Neither one war or two wars. Israel is still under pressure of the international community because they don't recognize any of your resolutions. Israel is over international law. It is an exempt. They never implement any resolution. When the Israelis recognize the right of the Palestinians, this is the best way for security. Security for all. What you want for yourself, you have to respect for the others. This is the best way for security. Recognition, coexistence for us and for Israel. The world will be demolished on time. Because if you look from the logical side, that the West Bank is connected with 4 or 5 other countries. But if you look for Israel, Israel is between the wall and the sea. It is a big ghetto. They put themselves after the wall, not we. It is the interest of Israel is to be open to the neighboring countries. You see, we have the Arab Peace Initiative. They withdraw from all occupied Arab territories. In the other side, the recognition of 22 countries with Israel. This is the way for peace, not the war. Recognize the right of others to live in peace, and they will recognize you. But to continue occupation, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, and you want security, you can't have security. Security for all, coexistence for all, for our people, their people, respect their rights, accept them in Israel. They can't live. I think Israel have to recognize that Israel is a Middle East country, not the present of the West and the East. This country consists of 94 nationalities from all over the world, and we are welcoming them to live with them together. You have 5,000 marriages between Palestinians and Israelis. The last 300 rabbis advised Israelis not to have Palestinian friends, advised families not to give rent to Palestinian students. They kick them out of their houses. This is the racism that not solve the problem. The problem is solved by equality, coexistence, and peaceful negotiation to happen for us.
Well, thank you very much for your provocative and interesting comments. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to explain what I can about the development area. Thank you very much.